What's up, everybody? We're back. They somehow renewed us for a second season. Welcome to the PrepZone Football Preview. I'm Jack Patterson. That's Jonathan Huskey, News 3 Sports Director. That's David Mitchell from the Ledger-Enquirer. He's the Prep Sports Writer. How you guys doing tonight?
Man, good. Ready for some football.
It's been too long. It's been too long. So we had a pretty good season last year, guys. We had a lot.
Entertaining.
Very entertaining, to say the least. And we seems like this is going to be just as good this year. We've got a lot of teams that can contend for state championships in our area, and I think the best place to start would be Region 1-5A, which last year we knew it was going to be Harris County and Carver. This year, not so much. It looks like the race could be just a little bit more open than last year.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the Region 1-5A race because, like you said, I think you've got Carver. I think you can pencil Carver in ahead of the pack right now. They've got the talent, the athletes to pencil them, to put them in the front. Behind that, I think is anybody's guess, you know. And it's not that there aren't other good teams in the region. We're just talking Harris County lost. It wasn't just Tay Crowder and Taquan Marshall. That entire offensive line, huge offensive line's gone. So, you know, I think maybe they might come back to the pack a little bit. And Northside's improving. They made the playoffs for the first time in a long time last year, and they're an improving team. I've talked to some coaches that have said, you know, this might be a year where they could do something. Shaw, they've got that really high-flying offense. New coach Chuck Stamey, really trying to push things forward, keep the ball rolling, as they say. And, you know, I think that the 2 through 5, 6, I think, is a very, very open race in that region right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Carver doesn't win the region, it'll be, I mean, the shock to end all shocks. I mean, let's just say it.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna win, but barring something unforeseen, they're gonna win that region probably relatively easily. Again, let's just go ahead and say it. But like you said, beyond that, I mean, we can see some things we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, you know, because Harris County lost, the offensive line, and then of course Taquan Marshall and Tay Crowder. The percentage of yardage that just raw yardage that those two guys made up was huge, and you got to replace that somehow. And I mean, they're really young. They are a really young team, so they're going to come back to the pack a little bit. But then as they're coming back to the pack, you know, the LaGranges, the Shaws, and the North Sides are getting better. And they're getting more experienced. You know, I think LaGrange makes a run at that second spot, and I think probably wins that second spot. They got a lot of guys coming back, a lot of talent coming back, and I think Shaw's right behind them because they got a lot coming back. That's what impresses me the most about Shaw, the amount of talent on the offensive side they have coming back. B.J. Knight back at quarterback, Cam Paulding at receiver, Austin Keller, the big offensive lineman. So they got a lot of guys coming back, and you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see Harris County fall all the way to 4 in that region, just because. And that's not, you know, that's not to say they won't be a good football team, but they're just going to be really, really young. And because you're young, you're going to drop a game or two that you should normally win.
All right, so we'll switch over from 1-5A in Georgia to 3-7A in Alabama. The front runners, the defending region champion Central Red Devils, coming off of a very impressive first year under new coach Jamie DeBose, coming from Prattville. But the playoffs, it didn't go so well. Trey Samuel gets hurt in the first game, and then they play Prattville again, this time at Garrett Harrison. Doesn't turn out the way they wanted to be. And we got a new coach over at Auburn High School with Coach Weingarten. So, you know, it's a little bit of change over in 3-7A.
Yeah. There's a lot of storylines in that region. I think it's funny that Central is, and I agree, I think they are the front runner. I think it's funny, though, that they are far and away the front runner, and nobody's talking about a team that was state runner-up last year in Prattville. You know, that's just how loaded this region is. You know, you've got Central, Prattville, Auburn, Enterprise. I mean, go down the list. You've got a lot of good teams in that region. Central, though, from a talent standpoint, I mean, this team's loaded.
Forget about it.
Loaded. That defense is chock full of Division I athletes, and they've got a new defensive coordinator that I've been told by a couple of people fits a little bit better with what they're trying to do. Mark Hurt, you know, and that should, in theory, make a big difference on the defense for them because, look, they had the same athletes last year and gave up a program record in points, 319 points for the season. But I think you'll see a little bit of a changeover with the new defensive coaching staff, an improvement on that side of the ball, and I think they are the favorite. I think they are one of the best teams in Alabama, and if everything goes as planned, they have a very good shot.
Sure.
To make it all the way.
But like you said, that the way that region shakes out, that's so good.
Yeah.
There are so many good teams in that region that you can't say anybody's a clear-cut favorite.
Nope.
But the way that Central stacks out, they got just as good a shot as anybody.
Yeah. A couple notes, I think, on Central. One, last year their schedule was brutal, and they're playing the same teams this year, and it's still a brutal schedule. But there was a stretch last year where they hit the road for 5 straight weeks, and somehow survived it unbeaten at the time. This year, that flips. They have, during the biggest bulk of their region schedule, they're going to be playing at home for 5 weeks in a row, and I think that's a really big deal for them. The other thing, shameless plug, I'll have a story about quarterback Zion Webb in Friday's Ledger-Enquirer previewing the Central Stockbridge game, because I think he's an X factor. I think he's an X factor for this team, because we know all the talent on defense, we know the wide receivers, Jamal Couch, Quan Weaver, Justin Ross, these guys 6'3", 6'4" guys. Zion Webb, he's the guy that's going to take the next step, I think, maybe. Last year showed signs of being a really elite quarterback in that offense, but then showed some signs where he was a little inconsistent. I think this year, how he progresses as a quarterback, without Trey Samuel as his security blanket. That's a big loss, but I think his progression is going to say a lot about what Central does this season, if it can achieve those really
and
goals.
they're going to want more out of him this year, because they don't have Trey Samuel, and for some guys that's a motivating factor, and that could be the switch that kind of turns it on. So that's something to watch. I think when you look at that the region 3-7A, at least the teams in the area, Central, Smith Station, Auburn, I expect. It's tough for Central to get better than they were, but I think all 3 of them will take a step forward from where they were last year, because start with Central. They had a first-year coach last year. Smith Station had a first-year coach last year. Auburn was really young, had a lot of injuries, and on top of all that, for all 3 of them, this is their first year in 7A football. So now you've got a year under your belt. You've got Jason Dukes back for a second year. You've got Jamie DuBose back for a second year. Obviously, you've got Coach Weingarten is new over at Auburn, but the team itself is more experienced. They've been through the ringer of 7A once already, so they kind of know what to expect. So I think you're going to see not just Central and everybody else from the area. I think all 3 of them will be players at least for a while.
You're not going to see Auburn start out 1-5.
No,
that's not going to happen.
What's interesting though about Auburn is that nobody really knows. Because they're playing it real close to the vest as far as access and talking to us really about what to do. So no one really knows what you're going to get out of Auburn High this year.
We'll see. It'll be an interesting race.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that season, for that race to start. And we'll transition from that. Dayne's back this year.
Of course.
Oh boy.
What can we do without him?
He outdid himself for the first episode of Dayne's World this year, y'all.
Good.
He outdid himself. Take a look, Dayne's World.
You're really in Dayne's World this year, shooting this from my apartment in Opelika, Alabama, where we have llamas from Ecuador. And they have football opinions, too. Maybe mine are better. We're about to find out. Beauregard, Opelika, Central. 3 teams on about 20 miles of each other. I think they all have a chance to win a state championship. Opelika's come close in years past, even got to one. Central, that's a different monster than they were a few years ago. Jamie DuBose is really doing a great job there. And Rob Carter at Beauregard told me that they are loaded this year and that they may do something special. We will see. I also think Marion County in Georgia obviously has a chance to win a state championship. Made it to 2 state semifinals regionals and won the championship a couple years ago. Can they get over that Hawkinsville hump? I think they'll be able to do it. Also, Troop, they're going to upset somebody this year. They're not going to be in the championship hunt themselves, but late in the season, after they get some continuity under Tanner Glisson, they're going to upset somebody and shake up the playoff standings in that region. As far as individual players, my favorite, Lorenz O. Smothers at Marion County. This guy, he's going to get an SEC offer, I think. Already got some D1 offers. Just the most electrifying, kind of a jitterbug kind of a player. He's gotten a little bit more mature, a little bit bigger, and he's obviously fast and knows what to do with the football. They're going to be a fun team to watch. He'll be a fun player to watch. And I will point out one thing. When you're in Dayne's world, especially when I'm shooting this, you get to wear what you want. Gym shorts underneath, and this is actually what I do at the desk at the Prep Zone some Friday nights too. So it's going to be a fun season. We're all looking forward to it. Jack, let's get going.
And Dayne, I think, will be with us next week, so Dayne's World comes back full circle on the set
In the flesh.
Oh,
Wow.
gosh.
Wow. Look out.
This next week's going to be fun. So, before we head out, I'm putting you on the spot. Any region, any team, bold prediction of the season. Jonathan?
I want to go last. You guys go first. I want to go last because I got a good one. I got a good one, so you guys got to go.
I hope I don't take yours.
Probably gonna, yeah.
My bold prediction, and this is going to be bold because they're going to be missing a guy for a couple of weeks here. I think Jordan's going to make the playoffs this year.
It's a solid choice.
I think Jordan is going to get in as the number 4 team in Region 2-3A. It's got talent, doesn't have a ton of depth, but the front line, it's got Romello Kimbrough back at quarterback, Marcus Wright, who's going to miss a few weeks to start the year, but should be back for region play. They have some talent. So
Return the whole offensive line.
Yeah.
Focusing on running the ball this year. Yeah,
I think that could be, it could be their turn. We've seen Kendrick, Spencer get up there. Maybe Jordan's turn this year.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I'm going to go to 2-3A as well, but I'm not taking Jordan. Spencer will make the playoffs this year.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I really like the way the Green Wave has looked in summer practices. They've been close before. The coaching staff is really experienced. They got Jason Gibson from the Lions helping them out. I really think that Spencer's offense can get it going because Spencer's defense has always been pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's really been that offense that just can't get through that wall.
Yeah.
I think the Green Wave is going to turn some heads this year, and they're going to upset some people. Upset some people.
All right. Nobody took mine.
Can we leave 2-3A or?
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna go back to 1-5A. You're gonna like this. The Shaw Raiders finished second in that region.
Oh wow. I don't doubt that either. I mean,
Neither do I.
BJ Knight back at quarterback, and I think the guy to really watch, and you mentioned him earlier, is Cam Paulding, because last year was his first season of competitive football ever.
Yeah.
Dude's 6'3". He's getting looked at by some colleges, and second year he might.
This is the year for them. I mean, everything kind of stacks out well. The number of guys they got coming back on offense. I forget the actual number, but. It's huge. Out of 11, it's like 8 or 9 or something out of 11. And BJ Knight is a talented guy at quarterback. Give him after another year's experience. We mentioned Cam there at receiver. They got talent in the offensive line. I think they're going to come out. The thing when I went and talked to them, it was consistency, and it was kind of Chuck Stamey didn't say this, but to me, I heard kind of like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back thing that they've had to kind of deal with the last couple of years. They do something good, but then they'd come out flat the next game, or they'd have a good drive, but then they'd kind of take a two or three off. And he said that they've been focused since day one of the offseason on consistency, staying focused, and mental discipline. And every player I talked to said the same thing. Man. So I think if they can get consistent in their offensive attack, knowing that that it's not going to be kind of knowing what they get. If they can, it was kind of one of those things last year. If they didn't jump out quick, they kind of shut down a little bit. And so it's being able to fight through if they have a slow start, fight through that because they got the talent to put up points. So I think that shakes out well. I mean, I think it's going to be them and LaGrange for that number 2 spot.
I think.
And I mean, to me, it's a toss-up. And I think that with the new coach, the guys seem more comfortable with the new coaching staff. They seem to be having a little more fun out there. So I think everything's kind of shaking out well for Shaw this year.
There you go.
Second in the region, I'm calling.
I like that pick.
I knew you would.
Can I throw a bonus at you?
Go for it, man.
Chattahoochee County, that's another team to watch.
Yeah?
Offense back, very high-flying offense. They could make a run, maybe depending on what Heard County those teams have coming back, they can make a run
I like
in
I
that
like
region
that.
as well.
I like that. That's very, very good. And another team that we need to watch out for this year is the team that we'll be covering for our Friday night tailgate game of the week this week, the Calvary Christian Knights.
Yeah.
State runners-up last year.
First year in the GICAA.
Yep.
Yeah. And now they got a year's worth of film study on all these opponents, and
they got a football field.
Yeah, they've got a football field.
Facility. They don't have to go to Britt David Park,
Yeah.
so that's good.
No,
That's
so
good for them.
Looks good too.
So Chief Meteorologist Bob Jeswald will be out at Calvary Christian. They're playing Young American Christian.
Yep.
They'll be out there for the evening edition, first edition, 5 and 6 o'clock on Friday. And Dan Young will also be at Callaway Stadium in LaGrange for a huge non-region matchup between LaGrange, like we've been talking about, and Callaway. And the huge question for Callaway is life without Terry Godwin.
Yeah.
So
That was a great one to start off the season last year. Went to overtime.
It was a phenomenal game to start off the season last year. We'll see. We'll get another classic out of those two. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this season debut. Looking forward to the season, guys. David, it's great to have you. And Jonathan, I know this is
Cue the violins.
Yeah, this is Jonathan's last show, guys. So
Yeah.
So-
But we leave it in capable hands. I know that you guys and Dayne and everybody will keep it going. We've got the best prep football coverage in the area, and I know it'll keep on sailing right along. I mean, it wasn't, it was. I just was just fortunate enough to be a passenger on the ship. So you guys you'll just keep moving it right along.
all right, man. Thanks for everything you've done, man.
Absolutely.
It's been an honor and a privilege, my friend.
Hey, thank you. It was fun.
So for David Mitchell and Jonathan Huskey, I'm Jack Patterson. We'll see you next week on the PrepZone Football Preview, and go out and enjoy the games on Friday night. We'll see you.
Who's going to win in high school, Brent?
These are a lot harder to stand on than I thought they'd be.
Who's going to win in high school?
LaGrange?
You heard it. LaGrange, everybody.
Go Spartans.
They're the Grangers.
Go Mountain Brook.
Mountain Brook. I don't know who that is.
They're in Birmingham. That's my high school.
That's my roommate, Brent. He works in Auburn.
And I went to Mountain Brook. So